Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's journal, I would like to share my thoughts on life. Is there a purpose to our life? We all ask this question some point in our life. Some point in our life, we have all asked this question: what is my purpose to life? Is there a meaning to our life? So I thought to share my take on this today's journal. So, what is the purpose to life? Ultimately, there are a number of answers to this question. All life forms have one essential purpose: is survival. I'm not here to talk about that subject. If science discovered there is no real purpose to life, would you still be so determined to live life to fullest? People come to wonder about the purpose of life for a number of different reasons. Some people seem to spend their entire whole life in search of a purpose. As a human, we are inherently curious, and some of us going through depression, difficult time, and we look for a renewed sense of meaning by asking this question. The life meanings vary person to person based on their finite mind limited experiences. We have never experienced anything outside of us, so any answer we give to this our finite mind limited projection of our own past limited experience. Understandably, sufferings bring us to question the purpose of life. Suffering is an inevitable part of life. There are a number of different approaches to suffering. Eastern philosophy such as Buddhism and Hinduism believe that the meaning of life is to escape the cycle of suffering. On the other hand, the Western interpretation such that is to find something in life that justifies the suffering. Some would say the purpose of life is to serve others. Some would say finding happiness itself is the goal of life, whereas others would say to end the misery of material existence and attain a blissful life. Some even go further and say there is no purpose to life. There are unlimited books have been written about on this subject. There are plenty of online courses available in YouTube by people who have committed much more time and energy to the question. By reading these books and taking up these courses, we can reflect on the experience of others through time. We may be able to find an answer that resonates with us. But in order for you to find answer to this question, you must all look deeper within. Inherently, life doesn't have any meaning. Like anything, we give meaning to it through our finite mind as a body and mind. For most of us, we seek happiness in external object. After a while, these objects don't give us the lasting happiness. Then suffering start again. The cycle continue. Then we look for a happiness again in external object. Then after a while, the happiness disappear. Then we started look for happiness. So in order to, as a human, as a body and mind, in order to overcome the suffering, we look for a happiness. So when somebody say the purpose of life to find peace and happiness, again, this is through our finite mind. We are trying to find a reason. In reality, inherently, life doesn't have any meaning. It's empty of meaning. Because we identify ourselves with this body and mind, then we suffer. Then through our body and mind, we look for a happiness or trying to attain the peaceful state of mind. The life doesn't have any meaning. Or the same with when people say serving other people, helping. Again, this is through our body and mind we are finding that meaning. So this is what I said. There are books, there are online material available, but this is other people experience and they spend their own time finding those purpose. Same as that, if we really wanted to find life meaning, you have to search within. So starting point will be to not to assume anything. You keep the plate empty and say that life doesn't have any meaning. Then you look for a meaning to fulfill as your body and mind. Because the issue is, when we identify with something we are not, which is body and mind, is objective activities, then we suffer. Then after that, in order to overcome our suffering, we look for a meaning or trying to look for a happiness or peaceful state. So life doesn't have any meaning. But if we identify with yourself with this limited body and mind, then you suffer. Of course, you're going to look for the meaning as a body and mind, or as a finite mind, look for an answer to the question. So if that is the case, then your ultimate purpose to find a happiness and peace, again, you will not that find as a body and mind. Because if you recognize your infinite nature, you are already that. So that's one of the reasons, in my opinion, I will say, life doesn't have any purpose. We give the meaning to it as a body and mind because we want the objective experience as a body and mind. But if we ask this question as awareness, this question doesn't even exist. So when you don't exist, this question doesn't exist. Only this question come to light when we say, I am this body and mind. Then we ask the question. So usually this question comes when we suffer. So when the suffering comes, then we look for a meaning. So the answer to the question, life doesn't have any meaning. But if you are looking for an answer as a body and mind, again, there is no meaning to it. But the minute you identify yourself with body and mind, then at some point, when external object doesn't give you that satisfaction or lasting happiness or peace, then you suffer. Then we're going to come back to the same place asking the question. Then you look for enlightenment or awakening as a process to overcome this suffering. So life doesn't have any meaning. But if your reality is that you are this body and mind, then to overcome your suffering, you look for a peaceful state as a body and mind. Then yes, you have an answer, which is, find the happiness.